Is this what you've been waiting for? Say 1, 2, and 4.
Gabe Newell once again decided to show how tough he is, and after many years he rolled out a technological masterpiece to the public. Each part of the Half-Life was revolutionary in certain places, and Alyx is no exception. No other VR game made me want to go back to it after a while and go to the end because damn it, it's so cool. I've never seen anything like it in VR. Of course my eyes hurt, maybe at the time of the release of the video I was already blind, my ass hurts from squats, my legs and arms hurt from numerous blows of the closet, but it's definitely worth it. But still, even in this game there are flaws, where without them, and therefore, albeit with difficulty, but still let's try to find out what was wrong with this game. The most important thing that many complains about, most likely those who did not play it, is that it's not a full-fledged third game, but some kind of offshot with Alyx in title role. But as for me, before rolling out a full-fledged sequel to Gordon Freeman, you need to somehow prepare the part of the audience that not played the second game, and since the second game came out 20 years ago, there are quite a lot of such people, and there is still be more and more. Someone makes remakes of all games for this, but Gabe Newell decided to approach the problem in an unusual way. And when I saw the ending, I can say that it turned out not too bad from him. And now I even more wanted the third game, which thanks to Alyx can still happen. And for this, it seems to me, one scene can be removed. Deserved. And the game begins with incredibly epic Valve logo, which looks fucking cool in VR. Yes, I think there will be much more moments in this video. All the same, the game is rather unusual, and all the time that I played it, I never ceased to get high from all sorts of little things that, thanks to VR, are played and felt a completely new way. I wonder if there at least one person on the planet who played this game who, having seen the felty pen, did not use it for intended purpose. First poop successfully laid. And it was far from last, it's fucking cool. This is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. What would you like to say about the graphic components of the game? In general, I have all the points set to the minimum, because the game is very demanding on hardware, and even at the minimum it looks gorgeous. Yes, some textures, if you look closely, do not have enough resolution, and there is not enough anti-aliasing, but in general, don't give a shit. The man who saved Alyx from prison decided not to bother with the fact that with the explosions he could make her love to, and if not by the explosion itself, then by the subsequent accident for sure. But Sasha in the end still managed to survive.
The Citadel?
No, something else. And whatever it is, they're gonna kill anybody who saw it. And anybody who knows anybody who saw it.
They will kill everyone who has seen or knows someone who has seen this picture of certain building, that is, Eli and Alyx and this guy, whose name I already forgotten. But instead of killing Alyx and Eli, they took them prisoner to find out what they know, or in other words, that they could be saved in the end. No matter how I blend, I won't be able to get into this car. It hurts. By the way, for the whole game we will not be allowed to ride on any transport at all, which is doubly insulting. I know that after such a trip I would most likely throw up with the whole room, but it's worth it. Poop number 2 successfully delayed.
Now, pretty soon they're gonna realize that your dad is not gonna talk, and when that happens, he's off to have his brain sucked out.
If they have the opportunity to suck the information they need from the brain, I correctly understood what they said. Why then bother with interrogation if you can do it right on the spot, preventing his accomplishments from saving him?
Train comes to a halt, you deal with the Combine situation, and we get your dad back.
You will deal with the situation with the Combines, because it's not a problem for one weak woman to cope with the armed and trained soldiers of the Alliance.
And get yourself a pair of Russells on the way out.
Russells?
The gloves, Alyx. You know, the gravity glove.
Those same gravitational gloves, for some reason, you stopped using the second game, which you didn't even think about them. And if my memory serves me, in the second half of the gravity guns was called something revolutionary, and it's quite a bit more powerful, but at the same time much larger than these revolutionary gloves. If it were an ordinary game, I would find fault with these elementary and not very diverse puzzles, on which there are only 4 varieties, but with VR they still feel like something cool, thanks to the fact that you need to solve them with your own hands, and therefore my hands will not raise a scene for them. However, one small point about this type of puzzles interests me. Glowing blue behind the wall, this is the wire that I use to contraption to twist the different directions, because why not twist the concrete wire instead the wall, and after that it starts to conduct electricity.
Alyx, that thing's incredible. You need an incredible brand name.
Oh, how about I call it the Alyx?
Your fantasy has rage in earnest. Also, the terminals for replenishing health are quite cool. They are significantly different from those that were in second game, which you didn't even need to touch in order to replenish your health via Wi-Fi.
Hey, Russell, I just found a loose syringe of God knows what. Is this medicine?
Does it have a skull and crossbones on it?
I don't see one.
Probably medicine then.
If one bullet is accidentally thrown to the pistol during reloading, it can no longer be picked up and inserted back into the magazine. If the syringe does not have a skull and crossbones, that it's definitely medicine. And even though it's really a drug, do you really do to inject yourself a syringe that was lying in a dirty room and which some facehugger could suck on? The shooting mechanics in this game are incredibly cool. It's impossible to put into the words how much it's fun to try the targeting objects on which you want to shoot, to seek out the clip yourself and insert a new one into the gun. Yes, and the sound themselves are a reaction of opponents to hits. Everything is generally done so that you get the maximum buzz from shooting. But there are still no headshots in the game. The Alliance has terminals to improve their weapons, but still in the second game they all run the most ordinary machine guns that were not pumped in any way. As in fact in this game they all have the most common unpumped weapons. For whom did they put these things and who expect Alyx use them? They know, but they will soon forget. In the first game I never waited for this, and finally by the third game he finally ate it.
Right, but I mean in general.
Now I'm satisfied. Well, why, SteamVR? Why did you decide to get on the screen? Who asked you? Why the hell are you needed here? Well, fucked up. Why not start immediately in the collapse state? If I needed you for some reason, I would open you with my hands. Otherwise, I didn't see what was in the monitor all this time and recorded an hour of passage with this garbage on the screen. How hard does this shotgun have the glue to the dead person hand so that gravitational gloves can pull it from the hand? And how does he even hold the dead hand there? You and diverse opponents are certainly very cool, but where did the armored head crabs go in the second game? The flashlight can only be attached to the hand that is used not carry weapons. Also, it would be much more convenient to be able to aim both the weapons and the flashlight with one hand with the same time, because doing it with both hands while moving in parallel with the stick is very disorienting.
And it, not unlike yourself, is also sensitive to the dark.
Oh yeah?
Meaning it should go on automatically when the lights go out.
But it will work rather crookedly and turn only when it's necessary according to the plot. If I just climb in the same dark hole that I don't need, I won't turn on. At any moment a head crab can jump on your head, and damn it's so cool when your garbage is heading right on your face and you are trying to shoot him in panic somehow quickly. Exploding red barrels cliché. By shooting all this barrel, I provoke the explosions of the barrels in the vicinity. Also, there seem to be no other barrels next to those barrels, and I was standing far enough from the barrels so that I was not hurt by the explosion.
Think you have a job for me?
Job? Alyx, you invented the Alyx!
If something interrupts you during conversation, then the conversation will end. And unlike other modern games, where the dialogues after the interruption continues from where it left off, here it will not start from the form.
Of course they have automatic weapons. We'd have them too, but combine weapons are gene-coded, so out of luck.
The combined weapons in general link to the genetic code of the soldiers it belongs to. But if you are Gordon Freeman from the second Half-Life, then you can safely take and use their weapons. Your genetic code is also suitable for them. Alyx is so worried about the life of his folder that immediately switches to the switches so that the train in which he rides hit the wall, fucked up, get crazy, and her death accidentally breaks his neck in 30 places. Well, either by some miracle by managing to survive, clinging to a soldier without whom the abyss would already be lying in the bottom. That's lucky for him, of course. So lucky, immediately after being saved from the deadly situation, Eli instantly fell into second deadly situation, from which he was again saved at the last moment by the Vortigaunt, who so conveniently appeared here.
And much like your father, the Russells are priceless. Okay, so just, moving forward.
Russ, I promise your gloves are safe with me.
So safe that by the time of the second Half-Life you will have already fucked them somewhere.
That's a lot of cables.
That's a lot of fish. That is one big pile of shit.
If you have an object in your hands, you will not be able to open the door with it. You will have to transfer the object to the other hand to pull it to the floor, which is a little inconvenient. Once again, I fucked around the closet. I love VR games. No matter how much I fucked with a gun on TV, he won't even think about breaking it, which unfortunately doesn't work with my TV, which made playing Alyx a bit cheesy at times.
I'm really starting to think I shouldn't be breathing this stuff.
What was the problem with taking a breathing mask with you? Yes, she didn't know what awaited her in the quarantine zone, but that's why it is quarantine zone, that there must be some kind of infection in it. No matter how hard I put my head on the floor, an invisible wall will not tell me to crawl through the hole.
There was like a dog-looking lightning thing.
Another confirmation that Alyx has no idea what drugs actually look like. Where did you see the resemblance with the dog in him? And yes, I still have the same question for them as the armored headcrabs, about where they disappeared by the events of the second game. But throwing this inconsistency aside, I would like to note that they did a very good job on the variety of opponents here. In almost every chapter you meet some new unique opponents that weren't in the game before, and which you need to kill somehow differently from the previous ones, which makes it manage to interesting far from beginning to the very end. Fortunately, it's not very long, otherwise my eyes would put out Hello Skyrim and Fallout in VR, and sooner or later I would definitely fuck the TV.
New development? It went into a dead guy.
No.
Yes. I had to shoot both of them. It was nuts, Russell.
It sounds nuts.
You are so surprised that you have not seen before the headcrabs perform the same procedure with people. This one differs only in the electric and climbs in another part of the body. The terminal with which you can disconnect the wires from the Alliance ships with the help of few easy tricks can be done by anyone who has at least some kind of weapon, in generally not guarded by anyone. There is not even any kind of lock on this mechanism. Come and twist who wants. And even after I start disconnecting these wires, and even after disconnected them all, no one will even decided to go and check who was the hooligan there. Half Life Alyx is not inferior to its predecessor, and it's still possible to go down the stairs head first. Exploding red barrels explode on their own from the pass, but on the other hand, from the grenade that explode right next to them, they don't even budge. And yes, I'm so cool at throwing grenades. A room filled with exploding barrels and bunch of mines with level everywhere can easily contributed at Half-Life Classic. Placing mines around the rooms apparently is favorite pastime of the Alliance.
Russell, you're breaking up.
The vodka is good at Alex. The vodka is good.
This is probably the only person on the planet who considers vodka something good. In order to prevent poisonous fumes from entering your mouth, you need to cover it with your own hand. Damn, that's cool. But still, the hand pretty badly axed that filter, and Alyx should still receive at least some damage with her mouth closed. Next comes the rather lengthy segment of hide and seek from the Jeff, or whatever his name is, divided into several parts of the small moment to random location to take a break from him, which is in a normal game maybe it would feel rather boring after a while. You just throw bottles to the side to distract you and go where you need to go. But in VR, in the dark, when this monster right in front of you and you throw the bottles like a person with amputated arms and legs shoot in their place, this creates a good tension, and I didn't have time to get bored with this whole segment. But here are quite long downloads after each, so managed to get a little fucked up. Also, the game was on SSD, it did not really help it. The artificial intelligence decided that Alyx should die from their own hands, and therefore they kill all these ants for her so that she would have more cartridges in order to shoot these idiots.
5 Black Mesa, then disappeared. Eli, they do have a super weapon.
God damn it, Russ, they got Gordon Freeman.
I did not expect to hear at least a mention of Freeman here, but it nevertheless happened, and now I am satisfied. And I must admit, I did not expect that this was not Gordon but G-Man who was in prison there. So the fact worked and I am happy again. Also, to see Gordon there would probably be cooler.
Once we get Gordon back, we can really get ambitious, don't you think, Russ? Maybe we could take down the Citadel.
They seriously think that just one person will be able to change outcome of the war? One of their argument is that one saved humanity in Black Mesa, which none of them saw and could not think that anyone could help him. And they seriously believe that one ordinary person was able to get out of Black Mesa, infested with bunch of monsters and armed soldiers with only tire iron.
He fought his way out of Black Mesa with nothing but that crowbar.
This puzzle is shit. I can't name it otherwise. In order to open this door, I need to apply voltage to each of these slats in turn, but do to it quickly and one of them time to open, but not have time to close. But some miracle I managed to do everything on time. This seems to be a Half-Life, but an invisible wall did not allow me to climb into the only ventilation shaft that I found in the game and even managed to open. He will never think of shooting at me. Quite by accident, Alyx nearly killed Gordon Freeman, who she believes is inside the ship.
I think I just killed Gordon Freeman.
And if he was really there, then thanks to this love of Alyx to poke everything and pull the levers she does not understand how they work, the second game might not have happened. But fuck it, G-Man would give it all back. They came up with a convenient piano in the bushes. It will fix any plot hole.
Alyx, the Strider! Look out, it's alive!
Another poop, this time a solid one, tore my pants for 40 hryvnias. I'm not kidding, I really bought them for 40 hryvnias, successfully postponed. Well, all in all, this whole chase from a Strider chasing me is very intense, very fun and very cool. And especially this turret section. It's fucking awesome, and the way you interact with the guns and the way you duck to the hit target and the music and sound effects, it was shooting like a bitch aiming that Strider, it was fucking awesome. Next come a series of locations with rooms turret upside down, and again it look very cool in VR. This is what Alyx said. I said with her. Before entering the ship, just like Gordon, Alyx was stripped to the weapons. But it doesn't matter because her gloves have now learned to attract this energy crap, which can be fired at opponents. But still, it's cool to shoot them while stretching your hand forward.
Impressive work, Miss Vance.
Gordon Freeman.
It is immediately clear that the person has never met Freeman and does not know that his voice sounds like this. This is Gordon! Which is, by the way, is wearing a helmet, so go fuck yourself with your helmet. And he is in a suit that he wasn't wearing in the beginning of the second Half-Life.
This is the moment where you watch your father die. Unless...
What? Unless what?
Unless you were to take matters into your own hands.
It is handy to have a handy piano in the bushes like G-Man briefcase, which can change everything to your heart's content to get a story going, in the direction you want to it go. But still it gave a good start to the sequel, and this is the most fucking groundwork in a sequel that I have ever seen. And you know what else is awesome? Click like under this video, repost and subscribe to the channel.